So, Jeffy is handcuffed, put in a straitjacket, tied up with ropes and chains with a blindfold on, and his mouth is duct taped. And then he's put in a coffin, which is also chained up in a biometric heat-sensitive chamber where the oxygen levels are dropped so low that it keeps him alive, but his muscles are not oxygenated enough to move. Then, that chamber is dropped into a safe with plasma lasers, pressure plates, and landmines, so if he got out, the lasers would cut him into pieces like a lightsaber, and the mines would blow him up. Then, that safe is put on top of a castle in the highest room of the tallest tower like in Shrek. That castle is then dropped into the bottom of the Marianas Trench, which is the deepest place known to man, and the castle is then surrounded by great white megalodon sharks with laser beams and heat-seeking rocket launchers on their heads. Then above the sharks is a giant squid that's been trained specifically to eat Jeffy, so even if he got past all the rest of that, he'd have to get past the squid. And then above the squid is James Cameron in a submarine with an IMAX camera filming the whole thing, so if Jeffy escapes, James Cameron can let us know and make a sick-ass movie out of it. And then above him is a military submarine with a nuclear torpedo pointed at him, so if Jeffy gets past James Cameron, they'll blow him up. And then above that is 3 aircraft carriers carrying F-22 Raptors, which are the coolest jets ever in my opinion.
So we're going to pose as Boy Scouts selling Boy Scout cookies. Then we're going to knock on Cody's door. Then Cody's big, huge, fat mom's going to answer the door. And she's going to smell our cookies. And she's going to try to jump at us because she wants the cookies. And her big, fat body is going to get stuck in the door frame. So we're going to have to call the fire department. And the fire department's going to cut her out of the door. But then they're going to put her on a semi-truck flatbed and take her all the way to the zoo because they're going to mistake her for a hippo. And then we're going to go inside the house. But Cody's going to hear us coming, so he's going to lock the door to his room. So then we call in SEAL Team 6. And they're going to bust through the roof and go art, 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 because they're seals, and they're going to smack Cody around with their seal fins and knock Cody out. Then they're going to take the cat, climb up their ladder, and get back into the helicopter and fly off. Then me and you are going to get inside Vin Diesel's car from Fast and Furious, and he's going to drive away. And the helicopter's going to fly above the car and drop the cat through the sunroof. But then the cops are going to be chasing us. So Vin Diesel's going to drive off a cliff, and me and you are going to jump out of the car and land inside an airplane, and the car's going to blow up down below inside the canyon. And then the plane's going to fly over my house. We're going to jump out and parachute with the cat, and by the time we get inside, the cat's going to be so nauseous, it's going to throw up, and we're going to sell the throw up for thousands of dollars.
So I was sitting on my couch and I was bored. I was just playing Tetris on my phone. I actually had the iPhone way before anyone else did, because, you know, I'm God. So I looked over at Earth and said, getting kind of boring over there. So I walked over to the Earth and I changed the settings to creative mode. And then I went down to Egypt because it was mostly just flat and sandy. And I started placing blocks and building pyramids, kind of just screwing around, honestly. And then I went over to Stonehenge too, and I built that and kind of just stacking stuff, you know. And then I went to the snowy area, right? And then I built a bunch of blocks as high as I could go until I reached the height limit, and I called it Fort God. But then you people called it Mount Everest, which is kind of lame if you ask me. I like my name a lot better. And then I went and killed the Ender Dragon, so that was fun. And then the Mayans hopped on my server, and they started building pyramids and shit in Mexico. And I was like, guys, you're totally taking my idea. So I was so mad, I punched the earth as hard as I could, and I created the Grand Canyon. So I turned it back to survival mode and flooded the earth. But not before I told this one villager named Noah to make a boat, and I told him to put 2 of every animal on it, because I really did not feel like making all those animals again. And I gave him creative mode powers to build the boat, obviously. And then I just went back to my couch.
Okay, so we go into the woods and we capture a mole against his will, and we tell him we want him to dig a tunnel underneath the prison all the way to the Easter Bunny cell. After digging, we go down in the tunnel and we go plant a Minecraft TNT block under the Easter Bunny cell, and we ignite it so it blows a hole in the bottom of the floor. We grab the Easter Bunny, and Cody, you're going to be wearing an Easter Bunny costume, and you're going to stay in the prison cell so they don't notice that the Easter Bunny is gone. Then we're going to speed away on our motorcycles with the real Easter Bunny. And then after a few months of Cody being there as the Easter Bunny, you're going to take off the costume and they're going to say, wait, what is this kid doing in jail? He doesn't belong here. And then they're going to let you out.
So we dress up like robbers and we goes to the banks while it's closed, and there's probably gonna be a security guard sitting outside, so we have to distract him so good. So we throw a bucket of KFC chicken, extra crispy, and he start eating it and saying, yummy so good, yummy so good. And while he eating, we go inside the bank, and there's probably gonna be a bunch of red lasers, so we take mirrors to our face and baps to make the lasers bounce off, and then we get to the safe, and you pull out a nickel coat, and then listen to the right combination they put to the safe. And then we open it up, and then so much money, so good. And we start stacking our pop-ups. Then we blows a holes in the roofs, and the helicopter drops a ladder down, and we escapes.